Luz Maria is sifting through mud from the bottom of a canal, trying to find the remains of her son. He's been missing since armed men burst into his house and took him away. That was 5 years ago. Finding pieces of his body is probably the closest to closure she'll get.
Un giro de 360 grados. Mucho.
My life's gone through a 360-degree spin. I don't have peace. I can't sleep. You're waiting for someone to come and tell you he's there or he was dumped here. 1,000 questions with no answers.
Those questions are being asked by groups of relatives who are scouring the country looking for the 40,000 missing. For the first time, we had the chance to put those questions to a man who admits disappearing people. He works for the Sinaloa cartel. I asked him why they hide their victims. The answer, he says, is simple.
Without a body, there's no crime. That's why. No body, no crime.
It's a common belief in Mexico's criminal world. It's not completely accurate, but the lack of a body does make any murder investigation much harder. But that's not the only reason gangsters disappear people. It's also meant as a warning.
We have a saying, it's a dodgy business, but we play straight. So when someone's given a chance to work in a zone to sell the product and they don't pay their dues, we make an example of them and say to others, work right, or the same is going to happen to you.
But of course, many of those who disappear in Mexico are simply innocent bystanders. That hasn't stopped the gangs from inflicting on thousands of families an unending punishment. Afterwards, when you've seen the results for the family, how has that made you feel when they're still looking for their lost relative, and you know where they are, or you know that at least they're dead, but you don't tell them? I mean, how does that feel?
It's something that we know is painful for the families. Sometimes they come and ask us, and I know where their relative is, but I can't tell them because I'll probably end up just like the victim. Maybe you feel bad because they could be your friends or people you know, but there's nothing you can do.
Now the government has a new plan to find the disappeared. It's said unlimited funds will be made available for searching and for forensic facilities to identify bodies. But that won't take away the motivation for criminal groups and certain authorities to hide their victims. While that remains, so too will these desperate searches for lost loved ones. John Holman, Jazeera, Sinaloa.